If your effect doesn't move with the shape in Moho, just download the script I made. Links in the description. Copy the Lua file, then go to Edit, Preferences, and choose a folder for your custom content. Next, go to File, open Custom Content folder, go to Script, Menu, Animation, and paste the Lua file right there. Then in Moho, to reload the scripts, press Alt-Control-Shift-L. Now from the top, go to Scripts, Animation, and you'll see the new option. Click it, choose your favorite channels, and hit OK. Now the effect moves with the shape. This script is 100% free, supports all languages, and also works with other effects like gradients. Plus, it works on all types of shapes. Hey everyone, the script you just saw was inspired by a question from Lamar. He recently filled out a Google form and uploaded a video showing his problem. We got to meet on Google Meet and had an awesome conversation about it. First, let's check out his video.
Hey, what's up? The issue I was having was with the texture feature within these teeth. I had added a texture and it would stay within the shape here, but when I go to move it, the head will move, but the texture won't move along with the head, and that was the issue.
Alright, so today I'm going to show you every solution to this problem. And hey, if you've got a question like this, maybe something that's easier to explain with a video or an image, you can fill out the form too. And then we'll meet on a Google Meet call and I'll personally help you fix it. Now let's talk about the solutions to Lamar's problem. Alright, to answer the question, first I'm going to hit the S key to select the Draw Shape tool, and while rectangle is selected, I'm going to draw a rectangle. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Q to select the Select Shape tool, and then I click on my shape to select it. I go to Effect, and then I choose Image Texture. Next, I'm going to click on here and choose Pattern. After choosing my pattern, I'm going to click on OK. What I'm going to show you here is that as long as we are on a frame 0, if we hit the T key to select the Transform Points tool and try to move the points of this shape, or let's say we hold down a Control, drag to select a point, and move this point individually, you can see that the texture reacts to the movement. I'm going to hit Ctrl Z, and not only when we move the points of this shape, but also when we select the points and rotate them, changing the scale, is going to react to it. Let me hit Ctrl Z again and again. But the thing is, as soon as we try to animate it by going to a frame other than 0, none of them are going to work. The position is not going to work, the rotation is not going to work, and also the scale. See? The texture just stays at its own position. See? And here you might think, okay, maybe we can use mask. So let's go with that solution and see what happens. I'm going to create a new document. Next, I'm going to click on here, choose image, and I import a pattern. Next, I'm going to click on my vector layer. I'm going to hit the S key to select the Draw Shape tool, and I'm going to draw 3 shapes like this. Next, I'm going to hold down the Control button, select both of them, right click on one of them, choose Group with Selection. Right click on the group, then I go to Group Mask and choose Mask inside bottom layer. Now what happens is that since we're using a group, we can move the group itself. See? But we can't move them to different directions because they are all part of this group. It's not that we have control over them individually. But if you want to move them together, you might find this solution very useful. Another solution is using Transform Layer tool. Let me create a new document. Here I'm going to hit the S key to select the Draw Shape tool, and while Image Texture effect is selected, I'm going to draw 3 different shapes. This is my first shape, this is the second one, and this is the third one. So when we're not on the frame 0, if we hit the T key, the texture won't move with the shape. However, if I hit Ctrl Z and hit the M key, which is the shortcut for Transform Layer tool, I can move them together, change their scale, and even rotate them. I'm going to hit Ctrl Z again and again. So what can we do to move them to different directions? If we go back to frame 0, hit the T key and use Ctrl to select this shape, hit Ctrl X, create a new layer, and call it layer 3, and press enter and hit Ctrl V to paste it, we can have this shape in a new layer. Let's do the same thing with this shape. I'm going to hold on a Control, and then I select its points, hit Ctrl X, I create a new layer, let's call it layer 2, hit enter, and then I hit Ctrl V. Now we have our first shape in layer 1, the shape in the middle is in layer 2, and the shape on the right is in layer 3. So obviously if we hit M key, by selecting the right layer, we can just move them. I'm going to hit Ctrl Z, and for this one, I'm going to hit Ctrl Z, and this one. Again, with this method, you can also group them. To select all these layers, I can just hold down the Shift key and select the top layer so that all of them will be selected, and then I right click on this layer and choose Group with Selection. Now, if we move the group, all of them will move. What else can we do? When it comes to rigging, we can right click on this group and choose Convert to Bone. Now we have our shapes in different layers inside a bone group, so we can control them if we have bones. Let me hit the A key to select the Add Bone tool, and then I draw a bone here. I hit B key to select the Select Bone tool. I click on somewhere so that I can deselect this bone, because if a bone is selected and you draw another one, it will be the parent of your bone, and we don't want to do that. So again, I'm going to hit the A key, draw the second bone, hit B, click on somewhere to deselect it. Again, I'm going to hit A and draw the next bone. Now to attach these bones to these shapes, we go to their layers and use this tool, Bind Layer. We just select it and choose the bone. It binds the layer to the bone that we choose. We go to the next layer and do the same, and again. Now while our bone layer is selected and we are on a frame other than 0, we can hit the T key and move the shapes, rotate them, and also scale them. And we can do the same with the rest of them. For instance, here we can hit the B key, select this one, hit the T key, and then move it, rotate it, and scale it, as you can see. But the problem with grouping layers is that you need to have each shape in a layer. And for instance, if you have 100 shapes, you need to create 100 layers, and it's going to take some time to do that. Also, the problem with using bones is that you can only change the scale in one direction. As you can see, we can change the scale in this axis, but not in this axis. But depending on the situation, you might find grouping or using bone layer a useful method. When it comes to using other types of effects other than image texture, for example for gradient effect, you can use color points. Let me show you. First, I'm going to create a new document, and now if I hit the S key to select the Draw Shape tool and draw my shape, I'm going to hit Q, select the shape, and choose Plane for its effect to disable the image texture effect. And after that, I'm going to choose this tool, hold on the Control and drag to select a point. Now by clicking on here, we can choose a color for this point and then press OK. Again, for this side, I'm going to select this point and change its color. And I'm going to do the same with this side. And finally this side. As you can see, we can't see the effect clearly. To see it better, we can just choose another tool. So this is what it looks like when you render it. Now, if we move a point, whether we are on a frame 0 or we are on a frame other than 0, this gradient effect will move with the points because the colors are attached to the points. That's why. But other than gradient effect, I also have another solution for textures. Let me show you. First, I'm going to create a new document. Then I'm going to click on here, choose image. Here I'm going to choose tile. To have your pattern as a tile, there are tons of websites. You just need to search image to tile online, and you'll find a lot of websites for it. So I'm going to choose this one. Next, I'm going to bring my vector layer on top of my image layer. Here I'm going to hit the S key to select the Draw Shape tool, and then I draw my shapes like this. Next, if you want them to have a shadow or something, you can hit Q to select the Select Shape tool, and then you hit Select All to select all of them. Next, you go here and click on Shaded. From here, you can adjust the angle and the offset of it, as you can see, and the blur. This is actually the size of it, as you can see, and it also blurs it. If you want to change the opacity, you can click on here and change the opacity from here. And finally, you click on OK, and then OK again. Now, if we right click on here, go to blend mode and choose multiply, we can make the white color transparent so that we can have the shaded effect only. By the way, if you can't find this option, you can also double click on your layer and set its blending to multiply from here. I'm going to click on OK. Next, I'm going to double click on my image layer, go to image, and from here, I'm going to choose the vector layer, layer 1, as my warp layer. And finally, I click on OK. Now, if I go to this layer and go to a frame other than 0 and hit the T key to select transform points tool, I can hold on a control, select the points that I want, and move them. One of the advantages of using this method is that you can move the points individually to distort the shapes. Let me show you. I'm going to hold on a control, deselect the points, and then move this point by dragging on it. And as you can see, it distorts the texture. But since it's a quad mesh, if you move it too much, your texture will disappear. So this is one of the problems with this method. Let me hit Ctrl Z, and again. Another problem is that if your Moho version is not 14, when you change the blend mode to multiply, you may not be able to see the textures. But if we hit Ctrl R, we should be able to see it here. But since Moho automatically checks this option for warp layers, we need to uncheck it every time. So I'm gonna uncheck it so that we can render this warp layer, because we want to have shaded effect on top of our texture. Next, I'm going to click on OK. And now if I hit Ctrl R, we can have textures and the shaded effect. Usually Moho tries to add some stroke when you create a warp layer. So if you have the same problem, you just need to go back to frame 0, hit Q, select this shape. I'm going to hold on the Shift key, add this one, and add this one to my selection. If you can't see the selection, you can uncheck this option so that every time you select a shape, you can see a red rectangle around it, meaning the shape is selected. It really doesn't matter. We can also check it. And now by unchecking stroke, we can remove the stroke around them. If we go to a frame other than 0, hit the T key and try to move them, rotate them, change their scale, or even distort them, and hit Ctrl R, we should have textures and shaded effects at the right position. But the biggest problem with this method is something else. Let me show you. When you have a warp layer full of quad meshes, if you go back to frame 0 and try to add new shapes by hitting the S key, the points of every shape that you draw will be sharp. Let's try it. If we choose circle, for example, as soon as we draw it, it just converts it to a rectangle. Even if I hit the A key to add new points, and you can see sharp corners is unchecked, but as soon as I add a point, Moho makes it sharp. This is a very big problem with this method. The question here is, do we really have a solution? And the answer is yes. Back to our first example, I made a script for this problem. It's super easy to use. Before using it, first you go to Edit, Preferences, and then here make sure you choose an address for your custom content folder. It's the address of where you add your own contents to your Moho. Then you hit OK. From here you go to File, you go to Open Custom Content folder. Next you go to Scripts, then you go to Menu, you go to Animation, and after downloading the Lua file, you just paste it right here. Now coming back to Moho, to have the option, you either need to close your Moho and open it again, or if you don't want to do that and your Moho is already open, you just hold on the Control, Alt, Shift, and then press L key to reload everything. Now before I use it, let me show you what happens during the animation. As you can see, the effect stays in its own position. I also can hit Q to select the Select Shape tool so that you can see the position of our effect. See? But now if I go to Scripts, go to Animation and choose Bind Effects and check the options that I want and click on OK, as you can see, it moves with it, it rotates with it, and the scale of it will change with it. To pick the same style, I'm going to first click on this shape. Next, I'm going to hit the S key to select the Draw Shape tool, and I'm going to draw a circle right here. Next, I'm going to hit the T key, go to a frame other than 0, like this, and move it. Now, as you can see, the texture will stay in its position. To show it better, I'm going to hit Q. As you can see, it just stays in its position. But I can go to Script, Animation, and choose Bind Effects, and click on OK. Now as you can see, it moves with it. And by the way, while you're using this effect, you can go to Animation, Bind Effects, and choose another option. This is when we have position only. See? And this is when we have rotation only. And this is when we have scale only. Also, we can combine them. For instance, we can choose position and rotation. See? Or position and scale. See? And to select all of them, you can just choose this option and then click on OK. See? And not only we can apply this script when we have image texture effect, but also let's say for instance this shape has a gradient effect. If I click on OK and deselect it so we can see the effect, you can see that the effect still moves with the shape. Also, if I click on here to select the circle and check advanced, I can apply multiple effects. So let's say we set this one to plane. And for the second effect, we choose a gradient effect. Let's choose radial this time. And then we click on OK. Now, as you can see, the effect still moves with the shape. So whether you have one effect or two effects, the script always works. This time, let me hit the S key to select the Draw Shape tool. And for my first effect, I'm going to choose Image Texture and choose the pattern and click on OK and draw a shape. Then I'm going to hit the T key, hold on the control and click on somewhere to deselect the point, and I go to a frame other than 0 and move this point. There are some cases that you don't want to move all the points and you just want to move a point individually. In this type of cases, if you don't select that point, let me hold down control and click on somewhere to deselect it. After applying the script, you can see that the effect won't change. So if you want the script to consider this point as your reference point, you can just hold down the control and select that point. Then by applying the script, you can see that the effect is also changing throughout the animation. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the advantages of using image texture effect. Because some users might say instead of using an image texture effect, we can just import them as image layers. But they don't know that when we use image texture effect from here, it actually gives us a lot more flexibility. To show you its features, first let me play this animation for you. As you can see here, we have a background, and then on this layer, we have all these shapes moving. And on the top layer, I have the camera and the hand, as you can see. Let me go back to frame 0 and select the camera. So as you can see, we have a pink color for the fill, and then we got a shaded effect for the camera. As you can see, we can change its settings from here, like its angle or offset or blur. Let me hit cancel. And on top of that, for the second effect, we have the image. Now this image has some settings here. One of the options that we have is through transparency. So if I check it and then hit OK, you can see that apart from applying shaded effects, we can preserve the transparency. Let me hit Ctrl Z. Another option that I'm going to show you is tile. Let me go to this layer. For instance, for this shape, if I change its scale, it just repeats the pattern next to itself, creating the tile. So if we select the shape and go to the settings of the effect, we can also set its settings to don't repeat. Now it's just a single image. If I click on OK, you can see that it's just an image. Apart from that, if we change the tool by hitting the T key to select the transform points tool, you can see that the effect is actually being clipped into this shape. So we're sort of masking the shape and tiling it at the same time. This is something that normally can't be done using an image layer. Let me hit Ctrl Z and again. Another thing that I want to show you is, for example, if I hit Q to select the select shape tool and select this shape and choose another image and click on OK, you can see that in one single vector layer, we can have different shapes with different images, and we're clipping them into these shapes. which again cannot be done when we just import them as image layers. Let me hit Ctrl Z, and now let me show you some more features of this script. If I go to the layer of my camera and hit Q to select the Select Shape tool, as you can see, by applying this script, the image moves with the shape. See? But apart from that, if you try to rotate it or scale it while you're on the frame 0, after applying this script, you can see that it preserves the orientation and the scale. Like even if on the frame 0, I change the position a little bit and apply the script, you can see how it preserves everything: position, rotation, and scale. And if I show you the interval value of this keyframe, it's 4. And the image also moves with the same interval. See? If I change the interpolation of this keyframe or any settings of it, like applying stagger, after applying this script, you can see that it preserves everything. See? It just moves with the shape, no matter what interpolation you're using. Also, you can use the script in all versions of Moho. For instance, if you go to Moho 12, as you can see, the position stays in one place, but if you apply the script, it just moves with it. See? Now let's hear Lamar's response to these solutions.
I really appreciate the explanations and the solution to this issue. Thanks.
And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Big shout out to my friends Eugene and Stan for helping me release the script on the website. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one.